Hey there, Wondering Watchers. Welcome to this Pick a Card Tarot reading to find out what you already know but can't quite yet see. If there's something that has been weighing on you or that you've been curious about, then tap into the vibe of that situation for this reading. Or if there's nothing in particular that you've been wondering about, then just go into this reading with openness as to the messages that will be coming in to see how they might be applicable. We'll be looking at your understanding of a situation, the framing of that situation, perspectives to now consider, and the potential implications of seeing the situation more clearly. We're going to get into, different levels of things. So take whatever resonates and leave behind for others what doesn't. Also, keep in mind that while these cards may provide perspective, your choices and actions provide the true meaning of your situation. And ultimately, you get the benefit of having agency over your life and making your own decisions. Yay! And now let's make some magic happen. I have 3 groups of cards for you to choose from. So, group 1 is the Star Seeker Tarot and this Opalite Triceratops and this little tiny cute dude here. So Opalite helps to soothe emotions, enhances communication, and expressing what's hidden. That's group number 1. For group number 2, we have the Dream Vision Tarot and this Amethyst bat. So Amethyst helps with inner balance, opens intuition, and promotes focus. So that's group 2. And then group 3, we have the Field Tarot and Sodalite Butterfly. Sodalite helps to calm the mind and encourages objectivity, truth, and self-trust. So tune into whatever you're wondering about or clear your mind entirely. Then pick out which of these 3 groups calls out most to you. You can choose one or more of these groups if you'd like. And the reading for each group will be linked in the description box below for you to jump to the reading of your choice. So let's get to it. Hey there. This is a reading for group number 1, those that picked the Star Seeker Tarot and this Opalite teeny tiny Triceratops. Put the little fill out over to the side here, and let's get into this. So we're going to start off by taking a look at your current overall energy. You have the Page of Swords, which is basically curious, trying to gather information, possibly spying, possibly going on social media, trying to figure something out, maybe gossip, talking to people who know people about your certain situation. So let's take a look at what you know to be true. You have King of Pentacles there. So your understanding of the situation is related to someone who is kind of doing the same thing that they've always done, managing their money well, good with business. People go to that person, try to get advice, assistance, possibly even, getting help Um, Not only with like, I don't know, working on like resumes, but even thinking of someone who lets people stay with them, perhaps someone in like real estate or manages like apartments, something along those lines. So, what you know to be true is that this is a dependable individual and that is kind of hard worker and is, you know, pretty much self-sufficient and is able to provide for others. So let's see what the universe is trying to tell you. You have the Queen of Pentacles. So it seems like the universe is trying to tell you that this is like your energetic um, soulmate. And let's see here where to focus your attention to see objective truth, where it comes to you too. You have the Six of Cups. So perhaps you guys have, known each other for a while. Perhaps you met years ago, school, through friends, at work even. And basically, there's something about your history together that kind of, what's the word? Within that history, there are remnants of the truth that you already know and aren't quite yet seeing clearly. Um, so let's see what you need to know going forward about this. You have the Page of Pentacles. You just have the Pentacles family over here with the 2 pages. So for some of you, it seems like you're wondering if there is potential for having a family together, and it seems like that's a yes. For others, you kind of need to know that there is kind of constant focus and what's the word? Honoring of the value that you both have in each other's life, or what value you bring to each other's lives. So let's take a look at what your understanding of this particular situation is. You have Stag, Trust, and Thrive. So it seems like you've just been kind of believing that you'll be together for the long term, that you've been together for so long, you've just kind of thought that this would keep going, but because it's just as it was before, there's kind of a concern that it's going to be kind of stagnant. So let's see what kind of shaped this card wants to come out. What kind of shaped your understanding? Passion. So there's really a draw between you. You guys have, in terms not only like a chemistry, but a passion to be involved in each other's lives and to help each other kind of grow and accomplish, um, things together. It's almost as if you're supporting each other um, through life, and really passionate about, seeing the other advance and get ahead in life. So let's see what your understanding is based upon. Empowerment. So yeah, it seems like your understanding is that you'd be together, you guys are really drawn together, and you are a strong couple together, and you will kind of stay that way. So let's see what perspective needs to be considered now. Mountains, stand your ground. Let's move these people. Okay, so mountains, stand your ground. So what you need to consider is that things that are kind of set in place, they kind of will actually form a solid foundation. So for some of you, it's a sense of, what you believe to kind of be thriving, and a connection and empowerment and planning for the future. It's based on something solid. It's based on something that's like, it's going to stand the test of time. For others, it's as if things are just becoming more almost like a statue, like, well, the King of Pentacles, they're kind of considered not really exciting, not really, I was surprised to see this passion card. It's not really a passion in terms of romance that the King of Pentacles and the Queen of Pentacles are known for. It's more a passion for their environment, their home, and what they can build. But for some, you may need to consider whether or not you think there is reason for concern that it's just going to become just the same thing, and there's not going to be movement. But I would say for the majority of you, it's a positive formation of you know a future of reaching new heights, overcoming obstacles together. So let's see what happens if you embrace this perspective. So it says caution. It's more just, make sure you are proceeding slowly. You are aware of what your wants are. You are aware of the factors involved, the future aspects, and the concerns you have, and that you don't necessarily rush into anything, and you just take your time to, see what's there, assess it, and proceed as, slowly or as cautiously as you feel you need to. So let's see what this, would call for. Let's see, this one, family. So, yeah, basically, this is kind of, might be for some of you a question of whether or not you want to have children, you want to have a family together. Maybe it's just been just you two against the world, and there's some concern about bringing, making this permanent, having a family together. But that's, if you haven't had that conversation, it's definitely a conversation you should have. So let's take a look at how you can fully see what you already know. Maybe for some of you, you're aware of things in your significant other's history, their own childhood, that would cause you to have questions about the future of you two having a family together. So let's see how you can fully see what you already know. So here you have shapeshifter, transform, and unveil your gifts. So it seems perhaps that maybe you're the one that is changing your mind about things, changing your mind about what you want. Do you want to pursue a family? Do you want to pursue a career? Are you wanting to be more free? Are you looking at something, in terms of your instincts? Or are you looking at something in terms of a tradition? Things the way they're supposed to be. So it's basically, you need to kind of tap into those a little bit more. For others, it might be even, for some reason, I'm kind of thinking some type of genetic aspect that you might be concerned about, affecting your ability to have family or pass down to family. So that's kind of what I'm picking up on. So let's see what affects your ability to see things clearly here. You have flow. So there's some things that maybe you are just trying to go with the flow. You're trying not to make waves. You maybe are just kind of seeing, you're feeling things out, or you don't want to put any doubts out there in the universe, and you just kind of want, things to happen in their own time. Because part of the flow concept of flow is like releasing and kind of going with it and seeing where things go. And that does include also having conversations that are difficult, seeing how things go in that. So just kind of waiting for the perfect moment to have a conversation with someone. There is no such thing as a perfect moment. It's how you communicate your ideas, your thoughts, even when they are, they can bring up heavy emotions, even when there's a lot of weight attached to them. Part of the flow is kind of knowing how someone kind of, I guess, is receptive. So if you think they're not going to be receptive to a conversation about something that's concerning to you or that you care about, That's another issue. But I think here, let's take a look at what needs to change for you to like see things clearly. So it's a sense of perhaps there was something that you need to forgive about yourself, forgive about um, your significant other. You know, for some, it might be that maybe there is something that you think, something that's just not been discussed for years. Something that maybe possibly someone did something that was out of character. Maybe was trying to break free a little bit. And there was, you know, maybe something that was done that people aren't really proud of. So let's take another look at this in terms of more information of your understanding the situation. Ten of Swords. So some kind of ghost from the past. Even though you have this strong relationship, there's some kind of something about your past that is kind of lingering, and perhaps you've been looking past it or ignoring it because you have this sense of a connection that you're trying to keep, and that you it's almost as if this is your ghost. This is something that is weighing on you. So it's not necessarily information that someone else has that they gave to you. It's information that you knew and you you didn't want to see about yourself, and how it affects your relationship and your future. So let's take a look at, you know, what is it you need to consider with this mountain. You have the Tower here. So it's almost as if that mountain is more of your tower. It's more of, well, in terms of the imagery, if you take this mountain and you take this caution card, it's very similar to the flames in this gray tower. So it's almost as if perhaps for some of you, it seems that you've been holding on to certain information. And who knows, if it could be something like, you know, you cheated, you kissed someone while you know, were upset or inebriated, or, you know, you threw away someone's favorite, you know, shirt or shoes. Who knows what this could be? You know what this could be. But basically, it's almost as if this has to do with like proceeding to pursue that family and having it based on some type of information that you're withholding. And it's kind of like saying be aware of how you're going to feel. Because the Queen of Pentacles over here, Queen of Pentacles is connected to everything. They're connected to their emotions. They're connected to their environment. They are caring and nurturing, compassionate. They take care of things. They want to nurture things. And so basically, this is something that affects every aspect of that. So yeah, basically in this reading, I'm sensing those who picked group number 1 as this energy of the Queen of Pentacles here. That's what I'm picking up on. So let's see here. Let's see what's up with this shapeshifter. You have 7 of Pentacles here. So it's a sense of you really taking the time to have a discussion with yourself about your intentions and what they were at the beginning and what they are now, because that water, is flowing in the 7 Pentacles. It is flowing to nourish these, or this water is nourishing these pentacles here. And 7 of Pentacles is kind of about looking at what you've already invested and what you're going to invest for the future and whether this is something you want to do. So this is kind of a call from the universe to kind of say, how is it that you're going to feel? Are you going to be able, without forgiving yourself, without clearing the air, without allowing this tower to fall, are you going to be able to feel this Queen of Pentacles moving forward with what it is that you know and that you have the ability to see? Are you okay moving forward without revealing those things and without forgiving yourself for the decisions you made? And if you kind of choose not to pursue, the things that the situation that you thought you wanted, being okay with that as well. So I'm going to pick a card here for some advice from the universe. You have trust. Leap into the unknown. Have faith and move forward. Believe you will fly. So basically, the universe is pretty much saying that you've been kind of held down possibly by fear of, maybe the unknown reaction of what, this disclosure is going to be. Maybe it is that, this other individual wants to have children and you can't, or that there's some genetic thing that runs in your family that could affect your children, and you haven't had that discussion. Something along those lines. But basically, this believe you will fly and have faith in moving forward. I'm thinking that this is more about this tower. And that once you accept that this tower is not solid and it needs to come down, then you'll be able to actually, based on what is true, your truth. You'll be able to move forward with confidence and kind of let the chips, fall where they will. So I'm hoping this provides a helpful perspective of your situation, and we'll see you next time. Take care. Hey there, this is a reading for those that picked Dream Vision Tarot and the Amethyst Bat, group number 2. Hey, so let's see what your current energy is right now. We have kitty hair over here. Okay, so you have the Chariot. You're kind of just going. You are not afraid, at least when your mind is set to it. You're not afraid to kind of go outside of your comfort zone to accomplish what you want to accomplish. That's assuming that you have a plan in place. So let's see what you know to be true. This one. You have 5 of Pentacles. So it seems like you know to be true that you are currently having some, financial difficulty, perhaps some debts, credit card debts, perhaps student loans, perhaps needing to work multiple jobs even. And you're kind of, determined to do what you need to do in order to make sure you're surviving. Now, there seems to be a sense of, just not necessarily knowing where you can go for support. But it's not quite clear whether or not you are in, if you are in need of something in particular, or if there's just things that you want that you really can't have right now. So, see what the universe is trying to tell you. You have 9 of Wands. So it seems here you have kind of overextended yourself, and you've really needed to kind of put in a lot of effort just to make it through the day. To some degree, it may be that you have really not been selfish enough, actually, in the sense of, saying no to other people, saying no to taking on more responsibility, almost in the sense of you are just trying to keep things together. You're trying to keep moving forward, where it's almost as if doing too much is like it's your norm. It's like to say no would to kind of be interrupting that flow of you taking on too many responsibilities. So let's see where you need to focus your attention to see some objective truth. You have the 10 of Swords. So there's a lot of anxiety, um, overthinking, um, maybe even trying to solve problems that you can't solve, maybe even concerns about, you know, maybe you've trusted someone in the past and it bit you. So it's almost as if you have to do everything yourself. Um, and but in terms of the focus of the attention, you know, should it be on the swords or should it be on this sun here? So let's take a look at what you need to know going forward. You have the three of wands, and prominent in this is the sun. So you can see the sun kind of peeking out back here too, or at least some type of illumination. And here in the chariot, here's illumination. So, and then in the Five of Pentacles here, this face is kind of hidden in shadow. This face is hidden in shadow. So even this face is kind of hidden in shadow. So we're going to unpack more of this, but it's almost as if, you know, you actually making something of yourself, at least your version of that, your idea of success is really to just leave everything you know and to kind of move past your current concerns and kind of almost get like a new network of support for yourself, possibly even moving. So we're definitely going to unpack this. Let's take a look here and let's see what your understanding of this situation is. What is it? Hey, you have guardian angel, you are not alone. So it's almost as if you do think you are alone, that you have to do these, that you're really struggling. And it could be that the type of support you have is not a particular individual. It's just the universe, and you kind of think the universe is either on your side or it's not. You can see, you know, here in the chariot you have the little constellation, and here you have little stars in the background. To some degree, it's almost as if you connect more with, you know, animals in nature than you do with other people. So let's take a look at what shaped your understanding of the situation. You have fear. So perhaps something happened where, you know, like I said, you trusted the wrong person. And so you really don't want to trust other people. Let me see if I can get a little bit more kind of clarification of this fear. You have community. So yeah, it's almost you have a fear of other people, a fear of, you know, possibly how they're going to influence you, possibly how um, they're going to let you down if you rely on them. So let's see what you think this understanding is based upon. Animals. So it could be, you know, some kind of situation you had with an animal. Perhaps maybe you asked someone to watch your animals while you were out of town, and you know they accidentally let them run away or something along those lines. Like I said, it's like you connect more with animals than you do with people. Um, so let's take a look at what perspective you need to consider here. You have summer, bask in joy and light. And you have this little bee here. And bees are really known to thrive in a community and really work together. Um, so that's a perspective that you need to consider, is that um, your community, a community that you trust, a community that cares for you and that you care for, um, can really add a lot of happiness and assistance in your life. So let's take a look at how this perspective um, would impact you if you embrace it. Stop. So basically, you're like, no, not gonna happen. Not going to fall for this thing of other people can make me, make my life easier. So let's see. What would it require of you to kind of accept this? You have freedom. So it's almost as if you are, even though you are feeling you don't have, somewhere to turn to, you're really doing things on your own. And it's almost as if, the swords are about thought. It's about problem solving and communication. And it really does stem from yourself. So, even if you trusted the wrong person, it's how you communicate with other people. It's how you assess and reason the facts that you know to make a character assessment of them. So, ultimately, this where to focus your attention is kind of how you're thinking about things. You've kind of confined yourself to this like kind of cage, where it's you only have what's in that little cage. And yeah, you've got an animal like hovering outside of it, but even that connection is um, actually um, separated. And here I'm looking at the imagery. I think it's interesting. You have this fear card and this freedom card in the cage, um, and the doorway or the archway in the fear card. they're shaped very similar. So let me take a look here. Let's see here in terms of, yeah, it would require you to kind of free yourself of these certain limiting beliefs or these certain, anxieties and fears that you have. You've got companion, and it says spooky pals right here at the top, but this card says companion. So it almost seems that sense of community, the sense of others, it require you to like trust people. So let's see how you can fully see what you already know about the situation. You have Medicine Guardian, be open to healing information. So to some degree, it seems like this would be calling for you to kind of seek help from a medical professional, mental health professional, someone who can kind of help you heal these fears, concerns that you have. Here's the staff of Hermes. This is about communication. So there's something about your, communication and trust that is really makes it so that you separate yourself and things are a little bit harder. Even if you have, not a lot of money, even if you have to work multiple jobs, even if you, have a lot of stress, having someone that you can trust and talk to, and kind of, have a sense of release, that's very helpful. So let's see what affects your ability to see this potential. You have reflection. So it's your sense of identity, who you are. Perhaps to a certain degree, you might feel that this makes you stronger. Doing things on your own makes you stronger. Or it's almost as if, for some of you, it might be that you take after someone, take after a parent, and it's almost like you're the mirror image of that person and you don't want to admit it. So basically, it's as if you don't want to see your own truth. So let's see what needs to change for you to see this. Actually, yeah. New beginnings. And another archway. I think that's really interesting. You have this fear, you have this freedom, and you have this new beginnings, and they all have this similar archway into it. And it's about different perspectives. So, here you see an open, it's interesting there in this deck, the Two of Wands is like I think it's like a doorway, and there's this big ball, and it's hard to tell whether the ball is going in or out of the doorway or if it's stuck in there. But basically, it's all about perspective. So here, an open doorway is it's fear when you feel potential, this empty space, when you fill it with um, potential bad outcomes, as opposed to this archway, this doorway, when you fill that space with, again, this illumination, the sun, and even the moon, you fill it with like beauty and potential for, abundance, for enlightenment. So, and then you have this, it's not an archway, but it's similar shape. And within that shape, you throw in some like bars on it, and it's a barrier to freedom. But also, to a certain degree, here with no bars, if you fill that space with, potential bad outcomes, then it's as if they serve for bars. There doesn't need to be physical bars there. So let's take a look at this new beginning and see if there's something useful there that can draw you to that archway, to that shape, as opposed to the fear. Yeah, protection. So it seems that you would benefit from talking to someone about some healing information, about dealing with your fear of, working with others, trusting others, and kind of seeing the truth of what's there, for you to even try to like go outside of anything you've known. So that freedom there, I mean, like it's is as if these cards are like you just want to escape and get away. But these cards down here is almost as if the opposite is true, which is you are really comfortable in this own like limited kind of cage. But it's about perspective, and if you are open to getting some, information about how you problem solve, how you identify, potential dangers to, uh, and what is probable and not probable. For example, if you talk to someone, you might start the conversation with, hello there. That's like a high probability. As opposed to the concept of you go up to start a conversation with someone, they're going to sucker punch you and, steal your watch and run off. That's a low probability. So it's almost a sense of how you look at new potential, new beginnings, because you it's like the universe is saying you want this new beginning, you want to explore potential, and you can do that in a way where you protect yourself, where you kind of almost protect yourself with your mind, with the swords again. So I'm going to take a look. Let's take a look. Let's take a look again at your understanding of the situation. The Eight of Cups, which is about leaving behind what is not for your best and highest good. So there's something you left, there's something you believed, and it was due to fear. You left behind this concept of people can help you, and kind of filled it with a sense of fear of trusting people. Let's take a look at this perspective about, basking in the joy and light over here as opposed to this fear archway. You got the Nine of Cups. There's really potential for you to feel more confident, feel happy, and feel like you have enough to give others, connect with others. There is that potential. So let's take a look at this, how you can fully see aspect. The Ace of Pentacles. You can have a new beginning. You can create this, new sense of value. You can have, you can move. And look, it's even shaped like the suns. So, yeah. Let's pull one last card for some advice from the universe. Sorry. That's my husband. He wants to talk to me. All right. So, one last card. Advice from the universe. You have patience. Pause before you take action. Trust that divine timing is at work. Be patient and play whilst you wait. So, patience is about, not doing anything off of this, man-made concept of time, and that things will work out for you whenever, divine timing says it's right. And ultimately, when you can accept it. And perhaps seeing this reading and considering these cards and these perspectives will help you to determine whether or not being open to, getting healing information, seeing a professional, talking to a counselor about communication, the way you problem solve, the way you kind of identify potential threats, and connecting with people, trusting people. Perhaps this will kind of kick in that divine timing for you to start connecting. So this is what I have for you. I'm hoping this provides helpful perspective of your situation, and we will see you next time. Take care. Hey there. This is the reading for group 3 with the Field Tarot and the Sodalite Butterfly. Okay. So let's get into this. So I'm going to start off here just to get a sense of your current energy. You have the High Priestess. So a sense of feeling that you're kind of centered, you're stable, you know who you are, you understand that, there's certain labels that, we put on things to make identifying your things that support you, the things that are against you, the things that you enjoy, the things that you're afraid of, to identify those things and make it easier for ourselves. but you are very much aware of those labels that we put on things. And you understand that the world is more complicated than that. There's kind of more ambiguities in the world, and you're good with that. You understand this sense of balance, sense of what you know um, about the world, about yourself, about your place in it, and you're pretty good with that. So let's see what you know to be true. You have Prince of Cups. It says introspection on the card. So what you know to be true is basically that to have the best experience in life, you have to approach things with a sense of an open heart, an open mind, a sense of wonder, potentials, possibilities, um, and a bit of exposing your vulnerabilities. And that's really a way that you kind of sense what's going on. You actually can almost feel like the truth around you. You can kind of have a sense like, you walk into a room and you get a sense very quickly of, the vibe of the room, who's there, and basically you're very connected in that way. So let's see what the universe is trying to tell you. You have perspective, or sorry, I'm messing with this microphone. It's like on my cheek, and every time my jaw moves, it's like making a cracking sound, and I don't know if it can be heard. Anyway, perspective. This is in the traditional deck. This is the equivalent of the Hanged Man, the Hanged One, the Hanging Moth, depending on which deck you have. So here, the universe is trying to tell you that even though you have this great insight about the world, about who you are, how you connect with it, even, that really there's still more of a transformation that you need to make. And that will require you to let go of something. What's interesting is that you are very aware. You're very aware of what's going on. It's taken a lot of trial and error, life experience to really tap into who you are and your sense of understanding of the world. So it could be that this extra, transformation or change or view that you need to take on is almost like, I don't know, insult. And it's an insult. Like you know so much already. You're aware of how the world works. Like what other perspective? So let's see where you should focus your attention to see some, this perspective objectively. You have 10 of Cups. It says harmony on the card here. So what's interesting about the 10 of Cups, in the traditional Rider-Waite-Smith card, the 10 of Cups is like, it seems like a mother and a father and some dancing children, with a rainbow, you know, above them, and they look super happy. What's interesting is that occurs on a stage. Now, Pamela Coleman Smith worked in the theater, so there is the idea that the stage cards in the deck are just how she saw things. But I think it was intentional. Basically, I see it as, a call to question, is this your idea of happiness? Is this someone else's idea of happiness? Um, and really, the Ten of Cups is about being able to experience all range of emotions and be able to manage them, be able to accept them about yourself. Because happily ever after isn't having a smile on your face 24/7. That's not realistic. It's being able to acknowledge your feelings, communicate that with the people you care about, help them process their feelings, you know, um, and just acknowledge that, things aren't great all the time. So to some degree, it could be that you are so good at sensing your environment that you're using it almost as, definitely you're using it as a way to protect yourself. It's almost as if, um, you're going down a dark street and you're using your instincts to kind of like sense things out, where not to go, how fast to walk, where to look, what direction, and whether it's safe to walk down the street in the first place. But it could be also that you're using your instincts and that knowledge of how the world works to really shield yourself from certain emotions. So let's see what you need to know going forward. You have Nine of Cups. You have fulfillment. So maybe you're at this Nine of Cups. But here, this Ten of Cups, that's where you need to focus your attention. So, what cup of emotion, experience, relationship, connection do you not want to have? So, let's see here. We're going to unpack this. Let's see. Let's take a look at, let's see what your understanding is of this situation. Heart Guardian. Love and let yourself be loved. So, your understanding of the situation has to do with loving yourself and letting others love you. To some degree, it's almost as if you are not forgiving yourself for something, or not recognizing some aspect of yourself. So let me see here. Let's see what shapes your understanding of this pain. Okay, so perhaps for some of you in the past, this concept of love, possibly concept of self-love that led to some upset, hurt, pain, some emotion maybe that you didn't want to deal with, that maybe you have experienced love and that really didn't go well for you, and you kind of maybe made some type of vow not to go through that again. So let's see this understanding. What do you think it was based upon? Your sense of truth. Okay. So this is about your understanding. So your understanding, or maybe it's even your understanding, is that love is pain. That was your truth. So let me take a look at this idea of truth. Timeless. So it's almost this idea of it doesn't matter what time or place, this just is. This concept of love is, leads to pain. So let's take a look at what perspective you need to consider. You have Mirror Guardian. Take time to reflect. Which is interesting because you have this, this concept of loving others and then letting yourself be loved. So here, time to reflect. There's something that the universe wants you to take a look at. And it's this kind of hanged man situation. To reflect and see, what makes you feel uncomfortable. If you look at the traditional hanged man, he's up there, he's got like hands behind their back, a bent leg. And to some people, it might seem that it's painful. To other people, it might be a yoga position. But to the hanged man, it's a sacrifice, it's a release. It's an intentional way of, seeing things from a different perspective. So let's see here. This Mirror Guardian, there's something, it's almost as if you need to take a look at yourself and like how you identify yourself. Perhaps you're so aware of your environment, but in terms of your own identity, maybe that's really something that you need to kind of take a look at. So here, this is the introspection card, this Prince of Cups or Page of Cups. This is what you know to be true. So perhaps what you know to be true is you kind of embrace all potential, all possibilities, all aspects, have a wild imagination and just be curious. And perhaps there's this concept of maybe you became so curious about the world around you, you didn't identify who, a certain sense of yourself. So This is what you need to consider. You need to consider more about who you are, your beliefs, where they came from. Let's see how this, if you embrace this perspective, how would this impact you? You have ideation. So it would give you foundation. It would give you a foundation for who you are and what you want to build for yourself. Maybe this Ten of Cups here, this where to focus your attention. It's not just the range of emotions. It's, you know, what is on your stage of the Ten of Cups? What is your happily ever after? So let's see here. For you to have kind of this ability to kind of look at yourself, to figure out what it is that you want, who you are, and what your happily ever after idea of happiness is. What would this require of you? Okay, something new. Something that you might not have already identified and sensed out and have prepared for. So let's see here. How can you fully see what you already know? You have broken arrow, embrace the energy of peace. So it seems like there is something broken from the past, something that needs to be looked at, and it needs to be healed. It needs to be forgiven. It's almost you need to forgive yourself. You need to forgive yourself about something. So let's see what affects your vision, your ability to fully see what you already know. This says rest on here, but it's almost as you are intentionally keeping your eyes closed, which is really interesting. If you look at these individuals here, this trust card, eyes closed. This mirror guardian, possibly looking at this mirror that looks like the galaxy, but from this perspective, it looks like their eyes are closed. This heart guardian, their eyes are closed. Let's see this. This Prince of Cups, eyes closed. Let's take a look at this. High Priestess, eyes open, looking straight at you. So in that sense, that's your current overall energy. That's almost as if that's who you're trying to be. But maybe what's true is you're still like, your eyes are kind of closed. And in order for you to kind of look at yourself, see what it is that, you know, you believe is true about you and what you want, and to kind of forgive, you really need to open your eyes. And perhaps to do that, you really need to kind of take a step back from whatever you're doing. Maybe you're being hyper vigilant. Maybe you need to rest and not really not really be hyper vigilant. So let's see here. What needs to change in order for you to actually see? Actually, nope. I'm going to use this deck. This deck. This deck. Okay, what needs to change for you to actually see? You need a sense of clarity. Okay. So, even perhaps just this concept of knowing that you aren't seeing things clear will motivate you to want to kind of investigate further. But let's see. I'm going to take the cards. Let's see. In terms of this, your understanding. Let's get a little bit more context. Your understanding overall. Summarize it. You have perseverance. Where can I shove this? Perseverance. 7 of discs or 7 of pentacles. This concept of having invested in something and really not sure how it's going to come out. That's your understanding. You have invested in this concept of love equating to pain, and that's kind of always the way it's going to be. And I mean, this says perseverance, so it's almost as if your understanding is this is timeless, it'll always persevere, this is your truth. Love is pain. And you invest in something, you don't know how it's going to turn out because it's probably going to be disappointing. All right, so in terms of perspective, let's see. Let's get an overall summary of this new perspective. Princess of Discs. Oh, actually, sorry, no. Prince of Discs is the Knight of Cups. My bad. Princess of Discs is the Page of Pentacles. So, does that change anything? No, because here it's like the Knight of Cups, it says introspection. So it's more like it's like the page. It doesn't really change my view of things. And here, this concept, the summary of this new perspective is manifesting a new idea, having a new concept of love and yourself, loving yourself in a new beginning. All right. And in terms of your ability to see things, let's see, overall, what is that? You have the Chariot here. So it's almost as if you being able to see what was broken from the past and just be at peace and forgive and just let that go and kind of open your eyes to who you are, what you want. You can actually kind of start developing the goal of what you want to accomplish. Chariot is all about pursuing a path, overcoming obstacles, and reaching their goal and becoming victorious. Here, it's almost as if this new perspective, you're going to manifest what your true goal is. So, I'm going to do one last card here to see advice from the universe. Maybe the universe says, never mind, just go get a pizza. It says, actually, it wants you to have 2 cards. Okay, it says dance, move your body to music, dance with the rhythm of life, manifest your dreams through dance. So get off your throne and start feeling the rhythm of life. Actually, um, get involved with it and don't be afraid. Don't be, you know, sensing things from a perspective of wanting to avoid. And you have nature. Ground yourself. Find a sanctuary in nature. Connect with the elementals. So this is almost as if it's kind of like get out of your comfort zone, connect with nature, and really, it's almost like forcing you to get out of your comfort zone. But in the end, the decision is yours. If you want to kind of be thinking that loving yourself and loving others leads to timeless pain, that's up to you. But if you want to kind of manifest something new, have some clarity about who you are and what you want to accomplish, to fill in the blank of what your 10 of Cups would be for you, then perhaps try some dancing in nature. So this is what I have for you. I'm hoping it provides a helpful perspective, and we'll see you next time. Take care. Bye.